first. I came in August last year, and we started with not with the World Cup qualification, with the AFCON qualification, and there we were on track. In the World Cup qualification, it was a little bit difficult. We had good performances. We had also a little bit of belly. No, and tomorrow will be a tough game because when you analyze the Lesotho team, they give also every time 100%, like us, and so I don't expect a friendly date rubber game or whatsoever. Again, FIFA points counting. Again, you want to represent your country. For us, it's a preparation. Every game, you cannot have so many games on national team level for the AFCON. Maybe the one or other player wants to recommend himself to be in the squad. This is again a very important match for us because every match counts, and we are accepting the challenge. We expect also a very determined Lesotho team, and it will be a tough game, for sure.
Yeah, of course, the last match I was not involved, but now I'm with the team, and I think for us, we are just looking at ourselves, focusing on ourselves. I think each and every team, they are giving their best. So I think same also as us, we just have to be prepared against Lesotho tomorrow to give our best for the country and push each other. As the coach said, everyone in the group is very important. We just have to support each and every player in the group and focus more on ourselves.
There was no written mandate, Mr. Nees. If you achieve this, then this happens. I would say our main objective was in the AFCON qualification to qualify. That we achieved. One game to spare, no home match, similar like you. We achieved that. The World Cup qualification, of course, we wanted to turn the ship around. There was already 4 games played, and it was not. We didn't achieve that. We had good performances in Nigeria, now against South Africa, even the home match against Benin in Durban that time. We had a little bit challenges in Cote d'Ivoire against Benin. We admit that. We talked about it. And the home game against Rwanda, that's football. Sometimes you attack and you don't score goals and the other makes a goal and win. The performance was good. The finishing not. And the last pass not. And that's why we that time lost. So, but it's a normal process in team development. It's very unlikely that it goes everything straight forward upwards. It's mostly in small waves, and when you can this process organize that the direction goes upwards with the waves in the long run, then you're on the right track. And I think that's what we are. We are realistic. Yeah, we have to still work to do to be ready there in December, but we're on a good way. There was already 4 games played. It's not so easy to go to Nigeria, South Africa, to win. I think you should know that. No? And we had sometimes it's a little bit not on your side. It was also in our games. When I remember in Nigeria, we had a shot on the crossbar. It could have crossed the line. Maybe it crossed the line, maybe not. That's in the nature of games. The other teams are also fighting and giving their best. Yeah, it's very simple. No, we have a good team, but we also we are on a process. I mean, I'm not so long there. No, it was clear that it was not just a smooth ride and forward, but the other teams, South Africa, Nigeria, Benin, also Rwanda, and Lesotho are also good teams, and they're fighting for every ball, for every meter, and if you're not always 100% up to the game and everything works, you can also lose a game. In our games, when you see, the games are always tight. Even when we lose, it's not like we are outplayed, not at all. It's always tight, and of course, when you look at the long run, we need to improve our finishing, our final pass. Our defensive record, I think, is really good. Our offensive record, yes, we have to work on. But when you see at our team, yes, they're chatting in from all over the world. And the calendar in FIFA is nowadays so much packed, not like it was 20 years ago. I was also 15, 20 years ago working with other national teams. Sometimes I had 1-2 weeks the team before, sometimes 3 weeks before the team together before a national team match. And now the players chat in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The first time you have the full squad in our team together is on a Wednesday. That means with the full squad you can train for the first time on a Wednesday. If you have bad luck, then sometimes the game is on a Thursday. That means you train 1 hour in the stadium. If you are lucky, you play on Friday. You have one training session somewhere and then 1 hour in the stadium. That's it. And in between you are traveling. You basically have not enough training time. And teams like, for example, South Africa or Lesotho have there a little bit an advantage, because your team, you can assemble them very quickly because they're coming, the most players from around. And that gives a big advantage in terms of training time. So in every FIFA period, you have 1 or 2 training sessions more than us or than teams which are assembling. And I remember when you travel to Uyo from we played in where was it in March? We played in Durban. Then you travel from Durban to Uyo. You know what it means. You're a couple of hours around, and Nigeria comes with their charter flights, or Cameroon. They smoothly travel, and when you arrive there, sweating, tired, they are already recovered. So it's also a matter of time, you know. We are on a good process, I think. Nothing really to in my opinion, to worry. There was not a single game where we were outplayed by an opponent, where you can really say, oh man, we learned a big lesson in terms of football. Not a single team we played against. You can ask. I got today a call from another coach who we played there from our group, from himself, and he said, my God, how you were fighting, how you have such a... We get always very good critics. Of course, we have to improve a few aspects in the game. We're working on that. I'm not that worried that we cannot fix it until the AFCON.
I think so far now, I think we've played many games here. So as players, we just told ourselves we just have to be professional, to fight for our country wherever we play. So it was not like an issue where like we'll be spending time like trying to think about it, because I don't think like we as players, like for us it's just to play football. Whether we play in SA, we love to play back in home. I think they are working on that. Hopefully the sooner the better. So we're praying to play again in front of our fans back home. But for now, I think we just here to do what was there on us, in front of us. And also, luckily, we qualified to go to AFCON, and also now playing this World Cup qualifiers. I think we just have to try and use them on our side, like playing outside from home, playing against different countries. So we just have to keep on giving our best wherever we play. Hopefully, by God's grace, sooner the better. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully soon. Yeah, I think it was a game same like tomorrow. Like playing against Bafana, playing against Lesotho, playing against Nigeria. We're in the same group. Each and every team has got their best qualities, and not taking away from Bafana anything. So for us as players, we just had to compete for the game, to compete as professionals, and taking each and every game that is coming up preparing for ourselves for the important AFCON tournament, as we're already out like to qualify for the World Cup. But we just have to use these games, like also the next match tomorrow, try to give our best and try to keep on improving on what is needed to be improved as a team. So we're just pushing each other as players and supporting each other in the camp.
What I can tell you is that Tando Ngwenya from Amazulu, he stayed back because he sustained an injury in the club last week on Sunday. But when he came, it still looked good, and the club also released him. But then during the week, suddenly it showed that it was a little bit more serious. We made an MRI, and then it showed he cannot be with us to play. And knowledge is out. We still have to assess the one other player. We mustn't underestimate, let me be honest, this was a very high intensive match against South Africa. And we must not underestimate the fatigue level. We must really look at everything tonight, have the feeling who could bring the performance on the pitch in 72 hours. Between two matches plus a travel, but it was not so intense, the travel. We must also say this time it was smooth. But 72 hours is very, very short, and who has the match fitness in our team to bring in 72 hours again a performance, a top performance. We don't want to overload also players to get injured and then maybe out of the AFCON or struggling then with muscle injuries. We must really be very careful. On the other side, we want to bring a very good performance. But it's not only from a physical load, it's also from a mental load. The game on Friday against South Africa was also from a mental aspect very, very intense. Because no matter what, if I just give you an example, if our goalkeeper would have made a mistake, he would have been accused of whatsoever. If a player would have missed a penalty, he would have been accused of whatsoever. That was also a reason why we had to give everything until the final whistle to stop that always this conspiracy, gossips, journalism from some people masquerading as whatsoever, bloggers or haters, and journalists masquerading as journalists, to stop that nonsense. Our teams gives the best. They're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. We give our best. And it's in the nature of game that people make mistakes. But in this case, it was very, very high pressure. And that's why we said it in the association, we must take that game as serious as possible. It was basically a character and integrity test for Zimbabwe football. And I think we passed that test with, with bravour. We had we were with 10 men playing for 30 minutes. And we could hold ourselves actually with 10 men, we almost could have won also the game. We had also a couple of chances where just the final pass was missing, or we were just a bit too nervous. And for us, that was a big pressure situation, really. And I'm not kidding. There would have been anything would have been again fabricated or whatsoever. And we passed that, and that is over. I think everybody can see now, I knew it before, the character of the team, that it's a very good character, that the team has an excellent character. I think now the public also knows it. And now from a mental point of view, this fatigue, we must also see how the players can cope tomorrow. That we will decide tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning who then will start, who comes in. Players also, the one or other deserves a chance, but we also don't want just to mix up like in a washing machine and what comes out. We have to be also responsible and because it's not an experiment, because every game is serious and counts. But I'm very confident that we can see that, because tomorrow is a complete different atmosphere. We again have this game, maybe, I do not know, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000 spectators in a 45,000 seater stadium. And the last game was packed 60,000. And this extreme is not so easy to handle. To keep the motivation, to keep the concentration, the focus. So we are also working on these psychological, mental aspects, that everybody is ready, and I'm quite confident.
The last one.
Coach, your goalkeeping department looks very firm. Chipezeze himself is doing well in South Africa. Also, Washington Arubi just displayed an amazing performance against Bafana, as if he was getting paid more. Are you likely to give Chipezeze maybe, or you wouldn't know by now? Chipezeze just to showcase
we must
himself?
see, actually the goalkeeping department, I had 2-3 major challenges when I came. The goalkeeping department was one of the major challenges. For whatever reason, I do not know. The goalkeepers before my time didn't perform well. Not because of the talent, because they're the same people, partly. But they didn't perform well. We cannot see. There was always key mistakes in the game. Too many. But again, this is the pressure in Zimbabwe, something else. I can tell you that when one makes a mistake, it's almost like he commits a crime, a serious crime, and it's not dealt with a professional, understanding of a human being and a sportsman. And we try to also tackle that topic. I recalled Washington Arubi at the beginning. Then during the process, I recalled Elvis Chipezeze. Martin Mapisa was developed a little bit more, like in the Chan team last year. He got a game then with his club. He had that time 2 international games. And then in the COSAFA Cup, that was all targeted also towards that we give the players international game time. And our goalkeeping department, I think we can really be proud of that we have solved that the way it looks now, that we can really be much, much more comfortable than 1 year ago before I came. We still have a young goalkeeper, Male Tavasiba, who's also was with us, very talented. Though he had 6 or 8 weeks, he was injured in the preseason in his club. He's in the under-21 in Brentford. And we must see also how he will develop now. He was with a muscle injury out. And maybe the one or the local keeper, but it looks much, much better than it was in June 2024. And that, I must say, that we can really be very happy and proud. And sometimes it's small things which makes a player perform. It's they must feel comfortable. It's like the same in your newspaper, or I don't know where you work. I think if you feel happy, if you feel confident, and you feel supported, your articles are maybe better. And if you go with a long face to your office and you get maybe hammered by your boss and criticized in and out, and maybe by colleagues, maybe your articles, the quality might a little bit go down. And it's the same with the players, you know. We must create a proper atmosphere, a proper culture of support, of pulling in one direction, and not let us influence by social media too much. Actually, that's a topic really by itself. I cannot read comments, or only those who are public, because I'm not on social media, but I also read the articles. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not immune against that. But my doses, which I'm getting from it, is so small. So people come sometimes to me, did you read this? And hear this. And social media works in this regard with a snowball effect in a negative direction. 1 or 2 people can spread something, other picks it up, and it creates a wave of then someone shouts 5 times a day or 10 times a day, but it's still only one person. But it looks like suddenly 10 person was shouting and this and this and that, and at the end people get influenced by that. Not me, really not, no? Because my doses are so limited. Sometimes people think, what is this for a person? Doesn't he know what's going on? No, in social media I really don't know so much what's going on, and I actually don't want it so much, because I think I sleep much better.